everyone, I'm Bree Morse, Miss California.
And I'm Sammy C, an entertainer.
Today we're going to be talking about alopecia areata, our experiences with it, and some of the work that we've done.
Yeah, just trying to shed a little bit of light on alopecia and how a lot of people really haven't been exposed to it.
So I was actually diagnosed with alopecia areata when I was 21 and had no idea what it was. I didn't know why I was losing my hair. I didn't know even what the disease was, what it encompassed, who was affected by it, and it really affected my self-esteem. As a woman who's involved in pageantry, and I was president of my sorority at the time and had a full-time job and everything, you don't realize the significance that your hair has.
Yeah.
And that really took a toll. And as someone who thought that they were in such control of their life and everything that was going on, to lose control of that and to not have any power over your hair falling out is terrifying.
Yeah, it's crazy.
Yeah,
honestly.
So I mean, it's just, you start finding yourself having control issues and trying to control other things in your life. And I know I was affected by an eating disorder because of that. And I've learned throughout meeting people in the community that that is so common, that especially in young women, trying to find something else that you can control.
Exactly. You're always searching for, something that could almost, counter everything that's going wrong in your life, and almost, bring you that happiness that, we all need happiness, that kind of like, that moment of happiness, even if it's just for a moment. You're always striving to have that and to get away from, thinking that this could ruin your life, even though when you think it's ruining your life, it's really not, and it's hard to get through it.
Oh my gosh, and so many times I've talked to people where they go to their doctors, to their dermatologists, and they're told it's just hair.
Right.
I think that's one of the most frustrating things that you can say to someone, because it's not.
Right, it's so much more, and I think to a woman it's so much more as well. From my side of things, being a boy, as a little boy, it was really hard because people would always come up and say, oh, does he have cancer? Or like little things like that. And people are just curious sometimes, or mommy, why doesn't he have hair? Stuff like that would always break my mom's heart. It would break my heart whenever she would tell me about it and these stories. And it's hard to get away from that. It's hard to silence the voices until you can find one of your own.
Absolutely. So. And I think that's kind of how I got involved with the Miss America organization, where part of it is having a platform, something to speak upon.
Right.
And this was kind of that wonderful opportunity, because in the process of going through this, you're faced with that decision, whether you're going to let this take advantage of you as a person and define you and just be so self-conscious of who you are and let your hair define you, or you can be the champion of that.
Exactly. And this famous basketball player, he has alopecia. His name's Charlie V. Well, he actually said, I believe in one of his interviews or something, it was like, you have alopecia, don't let alopecia have you.
Exactly.
And I love the way he put that. And it was so inspirational. And I think that you can kind of almost apply that to anything, as far as disabilities, as far as bullying, I just feel it does start with a platform, though, and it does start with that voice.
I think so too.
Alopecia, for me, has really inspired, a fire in my heart. And it's given me a voice, like I was talking about. And it's really, it's pulled emotion out of me to where I could put that anywhere in anything that I do, whether it be music, whether it be, sucking on the basketball court, because I cannot play basketball, right? But hey, I give it my all, right? And I'm passionate about everything that I do whenever I do it because of my alopecia, and because it just has inspired me so much in my life, and I know what hurt is, and I know that a lot of people feel it, so I feel like I can relate on a level like that.
Absolutely. I think that it gives you almost that silent confidence. That you're empowered. You start to realize who you are as a person rather than what's on the outside that counts. And I know coming kind of from my world of, and especially yours too, as an entertainer, like you're in the public light, you're expected to be pulled together at all times, to have that style, that charisma and everything. And in large part, a lot of that is your outer appearance. And that's your hair. That's the first thing that people look at. And like you said earlier, people automatically think something's wrong.
So true.
If it's not there. And, I think that confidence and gaining kind of that control over the disease, that's really what has empowered me to my successes.
Alopecia areata is an autoimmune disorder where your immune system attacks your hair follicles. A lot of people have used steroids to try and bring it back, but nothing's for sure.
Absolutely. For alopecia areata, there's a couple different types. There's alopecia areata, alopecia totalis, and alopecia universalis. And it can be just the hair on your head. It can be the hair on your entire body. It can be patches of hair. I had areata where it was just a couple patches. But there's no known treatment for it right now. And that's really the thing that we're trying to work on. For those, there's no rhyme or reason. It affects anyone, any gender, any age, any ethnicities. And you know what? It can come at any point. You really have no idea if your hair will come back in, if it'll fall out. And just the amount of people that have it, I believe it's 2 in 10. We'll have to check the statistics on that. Right. But it's an alarming amount of people that have it. And for so long, it was kind of the silent disease that no one knew about. But someone had some idea of it. It may have been someone in the family that they remember having bald patches on their head, or they didn't have any hair as a child.
Maybe passed down or something from ancestry. Or
and that's another thing, is that they don't know the genetic correlations behind it. So it's just continuously investing in research
it's a process.
And development of treatments and everything. And we're on the brink of so many wonderful developments, but it's continuing to push the advocacy and push the knowledge and getting people interested in what this silent disease is.
Exactly. And I think for me, I don't know about a lot of people, but for me, I think it's almost made me who I am.
Absolutely.
So if there were a treatment, I wouldn't want it, because I've already developed one.
Yep.
You know what I mean?
Absolutely.
And that's my music, and my music's been therapeutic for me.
Yeah.
And just speaking out to people and being myself, just like you do. And we sit on this platform and we have a voice for people who don't have a voice. That's a treatment for me. That's a treatment for me. You feel me?
Absolutely. No, I completely agree. It gives me that voice to speak on behalf of others who are still trying to find that voice.
Exactly.
And it's a journey. It's an absolute journey between when you lose your hair to when you finally accept your diagnosis and you own it.
Exactly.
But for the people that's not a reality yet, and that the children who their parents are going to have to explain this to their kindergarten classes, that's what my fuel is. So that parent won't have to go into that child's class and explain, this is why your friend is bald. This is why your friend isn't like you. To have that reality to me, and the likelihood that my child might have alopecia, and if they didn't have to go through that, that's my fuel. So if I had any advice to give children who just started losing their hair, or even adults who started losing their hair at an older age, it's just to know who you are as a person and to embrace that and to embrace your differences, because you know what? There's nothing we can do about it at this point.
Right. So you might as well.
Exactly.
I mean, look at the mohawk.
Yeah.
I mean, people thought it was crazy. People thought it was outrageous, right? It was so different that people started, catching on to the trend of the mohawk and liking the mohawk.
Yeah.
I mean, you look at all kinds of different stuff. Different starts trends. Different is good. Different is the new normal, is what I'm saying.
I think so too. And that's what's so exciting about our generation, I think, especially, is that we embrace that. We embrace differences, and we're interested in these diseases and things like that. And we want to have a cure, but at the same time, it's okay.
Exactly.
We embrace the fact that you're different and that you might not have hair, It's a good style. So how did you get involved in NAF?
With NAF, ever since I was on The Voice, season 5 or whatever, I received a call from Gary, actually, from NAF. Yeah, he's awesome.
He's so awesome.
Gary's awesome. But he called me up and he's like, hey, would love to have you come down to our conference. I believe it was in Texas. I believe it was in Texas. And he's like, we'd love to have you do a couple songs, speak a little bit. Now, I have never spoken in front of anybody in my entire life. But if there's anything I'm comfortable about speaking about, it's my alopecia, right? So I got up and I did the speaking thing, and I spoke to so many people, and after, I got pictures and exchanged emails and stuff so I could keep contact with the people that I spoke to, and it just changed me. I think in a way, how cliche it sounds, they spoke to me, people that needed to hear what I was going through and how I got through that. They helped me more than I think that I even helped them.
Absolutely.
Honestly.
You're totally right. And when I was diagnosed, I had no idea that there was this whole community out there. And so I Googled alopecia areata foundations or communities, and NAF came up. I had written an anonymous letter just kind of whatever, didn't know who was going to pick it up, just on the kind of point of view of me as a title holder or pageant girl. And they picked it up, and ever since then I was involved. And I had no idea just how much of an effect that they have on the alopecia community. I started becoming involved in their legislative liaison program, and so we go to local legislators and national legislators and try to lobby on behalf of alopecia areata and pushing for more funding for scientific research. And there's so many different things in our legislation that's crazy that does not yet embrace this disease. And the exciting thing is that through our lobbying and our legislation and our meetings and everything, that we have made such tremendous progress. And that it's because of NAF. It's because of all that they invest in us, in this community.
And everything that they're putting together, these conferences, like, they leave such a mark on the community. And it's such a beautiful thing what they do.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
With alopecia, it kind of gave me this voice.
Right.
And it was this inner confidence. It was this dialogue that I had, and it was something to fight for. And whether or not it comes back in my life or I meet other people on a continual basis, it gives me something to fight for. And I think that it's so important to have that in your life and to continue doing that. And I see the progress that we're making in our legislative agendas and the glimmer of hope that we have in a treatment. And I think that that's so exciting. And, you know, going on in the future, I kind of have this. I know this. I know that I have the ability to make a change, even though it may be just as small as going to talk to a local legislator or talking to someone with alopecia. You know, you have that ability to impact change.
Exactly.
So I think that that's the most awesome thing.
Yes. And I think too, you know, what I'm up to now is, you know, I'm definitely open to more conferences from NAF, anything like that. But then also I want to, you know, work on a couple more projects as far as like, you know, singles that I'm doing, but I want to perform them at like, you know, NAF events or things like that to where I could, you know, just be more of an inspiration, like you were talking about, to people that, you know, don't have a voice and are having a hard time silencing all these other voices, like a kid with schizophrenia or like someone with schizophrenia, you know, and it's hard.
And I think it's wonderful what you're doing too, because you're putting a face to the disease. Because there's so many people that have alopecia, but not all of us are in the limelight. Not all of us are out there. You know, Charlie is a wonderful example of someone who you see on the basketball court on a weekly basis, and people recognize him, and that's the face of alopecia. And that's exactly what you're doing. So we're so excited. We're all behind you, 110%.
Hey, same here.
I think whenever you're faced with something that makes you different, you're kind of a victim of bullying, whether it be from outside people or that inside voice that you have. And I know me coming from an older age, I really hit it. And so a lot of people didn't know that I was battling this disease. And so that inner bully inside me was the tremendous issue. I mean, that person telling me that there's something wrong with you, that you're not good enough, that you're not pretty enough, that you can't overcome this, that you're a victim of this disease. It's, you know, it affects people in different ways, but having that inner confidence to shine through and to know who you are as a person and to combat that.
I think that negative energy always weighs a toll. I think with anything in life too. For me, I try to keep myself around the most positive energy. So whether it be my music, whether it be listening to my dad's music, you know, anything that would just keep my vibe just bumping, you know what I mean? And so where someone would say something to me, they can't knock me down, because
I think so too.
The positive energy would outweigh that negative. So my family, I'd run to my family, I'd run to my music, anything that would get me in a good mood.
Yeah, and I think that that's what we can kind of tell everyone, is that if you're faced with that person, whether it be inside you or someone on the outside, to just block it out, to know who you are as a person and the wealth that you have and what you can contribute to society, whether you're gonna be a champion for this cause on the large behalf of the organization or just for yourself. I mean, don't listen to it. They're not as cool.
Definitely not.
If I had any advice to give to the youth or anyone really living with alopecia, it's to be confident in yourself and to have hope and just that inner voice that gives you a reason and something to talk about and something to live for. You know, just because you're different doesn't mean that you aren't as capable to do anything that anyone else can accomplish.
Exactly. Don't let anything stop you. The only thing that can stop you from reaching your dreams is yourself. And once you realize that, I think you're just going to be much more of a strong person. Another thing that I would say, you know, for more advice to anybody with alopecia, especially would be to find that one person or that one thing that you can always return to give you that positive energy and someone to just vent.
Absolutely. If you need anyone to talk to about it, contact the National Alopecia Areata Foundation, and they will hook you up with a wonderful community of people to share stories and experiences and just to talk to. That having that community is so important.
For sure. So I wrote this little ditty, right, or this little rap.
Oh my gosh.
Little rap thing, and it's talking about just basically what we were talking about. Be chill if I spit it for you?
Oh my gosh, yes. I wish I could beatbox, but I can't. It's not my talent, I tap.
It's all good, it's all good. Okay. Check it. All right, so I practiced a little.
Okay.
See me rally with Miss Callie again, valiantly speaking about how we plowing through grief and doubt. From pageant to pen, been dealing with alopecia with a wide smile and a slight rise of the chin. Begin, then begin again. Repeat, believe, and you can achieve it. Believe.
That was awesome. So great.
Yeah, so
we would love to have you join in on our conversation. So to follow us and to join in, you can follow me on Twitter, Facebook, Instagram at Miss America CA, the letter CA, or logging on to misscalifornia.org.
Yeah, and you can hit me up too on sammycmusic.com. That's SAMMYCmusic.com, and my Instagram is actually sammycmusic as well. And we want to hear your story. We want to get involved in your life. We want to help you with anything you're going through. So hit us up. We'll be real fast on hitting you back and give you some good advice.
So if you're looking for more information on alopecia areata, the NAF community, you can go to naaf.org. That's the National Alopecia Areata Foundation.org to look up some more information about the disease, to find your nearest support group,
Definitely.
to find us. We'll be on there.
Or even, get involved in any way with the support groups like you were saying. But
absolutely.
Also with the conferences that are really awesome. A lot of people with alopecia gather together. I think it's only here in the USA right now, but I'm sure they have other plans to, more outreach. But you can all get together and just really, connect and stuff.
And that's NAF.org, NAAF.org.